Joe Biden promised that on day one of his administration, a stimulus relief bill would be on his table. It wasn't. And the purple power over the last week pushed to get this moving. It wasn't moving fast enough. You got it done. The bill vote will come next week. Incredible great news as the House of Representatives will finalize a vote approving the stimulus package next week. It then lands in the House to be voted also next week. But overnight, Janet Yellen, Treasury Secretary to Joe Biden, rushed into a meeting saying, "You're taking too long and you're not going big enough." I have the incredible details. Joe Biden, meantime, said a statement late last night that says, "We're not going to wait around any longer. We're going right away. We're not going to sit on our butts." Earlier this week, he said, "We'll be dealing with this in the next couple of weeks." Incredible turn of events. Incredible push to finally get stimulus out very quickly. This is major breaking news, and it's happening this Saturday morning on Afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Afternoons LALATE with breaking developments and news about stimulus and the financial markets across the board. I'm really excited you join me on a big day with a lot of news. This is the first of 3 recordings on Afternoons LALATE. Right after this is third stimulus, in which I go over breaking developments about SNAP benefits, COVID, and more that are impacting the stimulus debate and why the numbers could go bigger. Then I'm back live with Beat and Mitch. I'll go over the documents you need to have ready to get stimulus as soon as it goes live. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe because this is the best channel there is. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, comprehensive detailed coverage of the 22 plus items in the stimulus package. Developments just minutes ago about a new stimulus package announced from the Biden camp. Details you're not going to see anywhere, with a lot of money for every walks of life of every viewer of this channel. So please subscribe. We're trying to add about another 5,000 subscribers in the next 2 weeks. Let's do it. Let's try to get to 380. Meantime, also consider liking this video. It helps in the algorithm's rankings. And consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Get access to exclusive documents, especially next week, on how to get the stimulus before anyone else. With that, let me cover what's going on in today's recording. In this video, I'll go over why Janet Yellen, why Joe Biden changed course so quickly after the Purple Power stepped up and said, "Get going, it's going too slowly," and what you can expect early next week, and how soon you could see the money in your bank account. And with that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you start this new morning, or this afternoon actually, is that Joe Biden is finally on pace to get this to the finish line. That was not the case on Monday. On Monday this week, that he actually addressed press and said, "We hope to see the progress on this in a couple of weeks." That was exact words, a couple of weeks. His press secretary, when asked about the status of stimulus, said, "We hope to see progress also on this in a couple of weeks." We weren't happy with that, and the advocates of this channel, the followers of this channel, Purple Power, took to social media, said, "You promised the bill on day 1. We're going into week 3 now of your administration, and the American public has not even seen the bill." I have a 30-page summary exclusively obtained by this channel from the Biden camp that details the 22 items in the third stimulus package, but we don't still have the actual 6,000 to 10,000 page bill. And so we pushed, and it worked. You, Purple Power, got the bill to the finish line. Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, confirms that the bill vote in the House of Representatives will be next week. It'll pass. The House is dominated by Democrats. To become a law, a bill must pass the House, the Senate, and then go to the President's table. Step 2 will also be next week. The bill will land in Chuck Schumer's chambers. The Senate. Chuck Schumer now controls the Senate. No longer Mitch McConnell. Chuck Schumer is the majority party, the Democrats. And Chuck controls the calendar of when things are called for a vote. And he's confirmed that the calendaring of this vote is next week. So the President of the United States, Joe Biden, could have this bill ready to sign by the end of next week, which means you could see a stimulus check within about 10 days thereafter if this does exactly what they said they're going to do. Now, over the last couple of days, you heard me talk about Plan A and Plan B. Plan A and Plan B could still get a little twisted. Why? Because Republicans and Democrats are still talking about Plan B. I don't particularly like it. Most Democrats don't like it, and the Biden administration doesn't particularly like it. Why don't I like it? Because Plan B doesn't allow you to have all the stimulus that you want in it. It's called a reconciliation plan. And the reconciliation bill can't have in there hazard pay or FPUC or SSI and SSDI. Can't have all the big ticket items. It can have a stimulus check, but that's about it. So what will Plan A have in it? Well, the 22 items detailed on this channel, it's very clear what's in there, but it's also clear what needs to get modified. Here is what the Biden camp proposed in their proposal for the bill. Ultimately, this may get changed because you've been on social media pushing to change the discussion with the hashtag campaigns of FPUC Retro, SS200, and MSC. But this is what Biden had proposed. A single $1,400 stimulus check, $2,800 for adults, for a married couple, $1,400 for children not taken out for child support, taxes, or back taxes or debt collections. An adult dependents stimulus check of $3,200. Someone on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or railroad benefits would get the same check as the people I just mentioned. Adult dependents, they get $3,200. Non-adult dependents, they get $1,400. Next, UI, PUA, and FPUC extended to September, but FPUC at $400 a week and not retroactive. Hazard pay, public and private sector, and a hazard pay tax credit, but the amounts simply unclear and not delineated yet by the Biden camp. Paid sick leave up to $1,400 a week. Student aid supplement, $1,700 one-time hit. And then other items, business grants, business loans, also not detailed as well. So what did Janet Yellen do yesterday then? Well, after a week in which you got Nancy Pelosi to get this bill to a finality and to a vote early next week and got Chuck Schumer to say we're going to vote on it next week, Joe Biden changed course quickly. And he said, we got to get off our bus. Late yesterday, on a Friday evening, Joe Biden said that he was done with his Zoom chats with Republicans and was ready to finalize it. After meeting with Vice President Kamala Harris and administration's top economic advisors, Biden said, quote, you have to act now. There's no time to delay. This is after him saying, we'll check back on you in just a few weeks earlier on a Monday and Tuesday of this week. The risk is not doing too much. The risk is not doing enough, said Biden. But that comment has not sat well with viewers as they wonder, why is the bill so cheap? It's valued at $1.9 trillion when many thought the bill should be about $3 to $5 trillion. Many thought the stimulus check should be multiple stimulus checks, FPUC retro. There is absolutely no mention in the transition papers of SSI and SSDI, the $200 add-on that Joe Biden promised. The promises, and yet they're not in there. Promises of FPUC retro, $600 a week, not in there. Promises of multiple stimulus checks, not in there. Promises of SSI and SSDI, $200 a month, not in there. Promises the stimulus check from last year, the Fix-It bill, the 2020 check of $1,400 would be added with a new stimulus check of $2,000 for 2021. Last year's check, this year's check would be put together. Not happening. There's no new $2,000 stimulus check in the bill. On Friday, the president made it clear that I support passing COVID relief with support of Republicans if we can get it, but the COVID relief plan has to pass. No ifs and buts. Then his press secretary yesterday said, we're taking a series of creative steps a little bit out of the box. Certainly the preference would be to get on a plane and fly around the country, but we have to be ready to pounce. Chuck Schumer also says that the bill will move fastly. We will have to move forward without them, Chuck Schumer said. This amid news that certain industries are really just not rebounding. Overnight, Joe Biden also issued an executive order that said all government agencies must immediately require airports to have masks on commercial aircraft, trains, public maritime vessels, ferries, intercity buses, and all public transportation. This is a result of an 11-page order signed by the CDC overnight. So what did Janet Yellen do? She basically came into a meeting with Harris and Biden late yesterday and said, what's going on? This stimulus package was written to be done on day one. We're at week 3. This is not a stimulus package to be done 2 months into this administration. And that is the concern. There's other concerns as well. In the video after this, I'll go a little bit more into detail of what's unfolding today. But there's 3 new concerns that suggest this stimulus bill is too small, despite the promises, despite the campaign rhetoric, that the bill actually may not be appropriate anymore for what's going on. Let me explain what's happening. The bill was written somewhere in the last 60 days on the belief that Biden could vaccinate 100 million Americans in 100 days. That was his promise on day one of the administration. He now knows he can't do that. That vaccination rate was supporting the idea that Biden said that he was going to reopen the economy in 90 days. Now he can't. And because the economy has to stay closed or won't rebound as quickly, you need more stimulus. The more you suffer, the more stimulus you need. That's the first item. The second item is the concern of new virus strains. When Biden had this bill written, he presumed that the vaccinations currently would be fine with what the virus had. That was before we now know, like Moderna, that says their vaccine works for now, but in 6 months you need a booster because it will not be as effective against the South African virus strain. Third, a concern among Wall Street elite that believes there's a bubble about to burst and a massive stock market crash on the horizon. Fourth, a concern that unemployment rates have not improved and that those unemployment rates, as suggested by Jerome Powell, head of the Federal Reserve, shows that re-employment, people getting back to work, has not yet happened. Those economic factors, social factors, and medical factors now suggest that this Biden plan was too small. So will there be another stimulus plan? Viewers ask me. This is what's interesting as well. Joe Biden had promised no less than 30 days ago that he would give you as many stimulus packages as so needed to get to the end of the pandemic. I'm fine with that. But when you look at the deal terms of the third stimulus package, most of them are items from now to September or now to December. With that, you wonder, well, wait a second, that looks like it's a bill to September. That looks like you're betting on this is the only bill for stimulus. And so ultimately the question is whether this bill is going to get revised or someone in the Biden administration is going to say, hey, this bill is not enough. This is a bill for February, March, or January, February. We're going to be back with another bill in March because this doesn't do enough for the American economy. We haven't gotten that message yet. And hence, you got to get on social media. You got to push purple power, because we clearly now know that not even considering the promises about FPUC retro, SSI 200, and hazard pay and rent and food, and also MSC, there's a concern this bill may still not be enough. Let me answer some of your 2,000 great questions from yesterday's video. Sheila Pofos, amen to that. Let's get stimulus to everyone. Charlene Tetherton, they need to get their gear and help the American people now. Sense of urgency by Charlene, amen. Ronnie Hutzel, they don't take my tax dollars from foreign countries. I love that. Sean Adams, they need to give $2,000 to the end of the year. Very well said. Martha Duckworth, I'm on SSDI and I could really use the provisions they keep on wanting to take out. Stop toying with us on SSDI, SSI, railroad benefits. We are struggling bad enough without being jerked around. Great comment. If you have comments to today's video, drop them in the comments below. I might feature them in tomorrow's recording. Susan Miller, we're really waiting on that Social Security stuff. Majol Keith, why haven't they figured it out? I'm on SSI. Don't they think we need the $200 along with our normal payments? Mary Sexton, vote in our stimulus now. Nancy, they're just blowing the SSI benefits out the window. Stephen Jones, some viewers aren't happy with our President Congress giving things to foreign countries. Retha Toog, it's next year from when he talked about it from 2020, so it's next year. He needs to get with it and keep promises. Amen. Kimberly McQuaig, are they just playing games with us? Yatira Bernal, hello family. Kate Rogers, cut their pay to match our pay. Isla de Leon, let's get the stimulus for everybody. Amen. Linda Patterson, come on, Mr. President, please keep all those things that you have promised we the people who elected you. We're very destitute and we're hungry. Keep your word, please. We're really needing that extra $200 in the hole. And there you go. If you have questions or comments in today's video, drop them in the comments below. I might feature them in tomorrow's recording. So what else is in the stimulus package? What are you doing to get it changed? And why is there a series of new great stuff, brand new stuff, brand new stimulus just happening today, which you've heard nowhere else? I have those details in the video coming right after this third stimulus. Stay with me. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe. Stay informed, stay focused, keep on smiling, and stay in that life for more.